And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you're all doing well. Well, summer's over for me. I must say I've had a couple months off, so I cannot complain. I basically took it easy for a month, and then I kind of had a pretty big art show that I had to get ready for, and then had to show a little bit of presence during that. But I must admit, during the extreme heat, I came to the studio quite a bit, but I sure as hell did not paint. Even today, it's quite warm in here. I do have a couple fans going, but still, I'm still sweating. So anyways, I'm not going to complain. I'm happy to be back here. And actually, we're going to do things... I'm going to do things slightly different than usual. For those of you who are used to my streaming, as you know, at the end of my stream, I usually do a little recap that I use the next day on Instagram to show what we did the day before. And at the beginning of my live streams, I also show the little recap. They're usually between 15 and 30 seconds. And then at the end of the day, I put that recap on YouTube with a little bit of music in the background. Well, I did get some suggestions from some friends who told me it was great to do the YouTube recap, but they thought I should add a little bit of explanation to the video rather than have the 30-second video. So I think, I know it's a little bit more work, but I thought it was a really good idea. So maybe starting today at the end of my streaming, I will do that little recap with some explanations. All I'm going to do is basically edit out my live stream since I record it at the same time as I'm broadcasting it. So maybe I'll just edit it out with the explanations with a little voiceover and see what happens with that. So, usually, what do? I go over to the computer, I start the day by showing the recap, but since we haven't been in the studio for so long, I guess we're going to just jump into it. So what are we going to do today? Well, obviously, I am going to start with, putting this painting, the last one that we finished, away. And then on the floor, I do have a roll of canvas. I'm going to unroll it. I'm going to measure up the next dimension of the painting that I want to do. We're going to cut it up, staple it to the wall, and put a coat of primer. That is what's going to happen today. It's going to be really quick. This stream will be like 20 minutes long, which is perfect for me to get back into the groove, because I kind of lost all my automatic reflexes. So, and I have a roll here of my previous paintings that I did. And I'm just going to add this one to it, roll it up in here, and it just makes everything so much easier, especially when you're traveling and you have to take your paintings from one country to another. To have them all rolled up is so much easier and cheaper. So let's get this down here. So, we said 1.10 meters. So I'm going to do like a little crow's foot right here at 110. I'm going to do the same thing in the middle of the canvas. Another little crow's foot. And the crow's foot is a term that I used when I was a contractor and a carpenter. Most carpenters, when they mark their wood, they make like a little horizontal V shape, and sometimes three-prone V shape, which they call the crow's foot. I've learned to take my time and make sure this was a nice straight cut. Drops of sweat falling on the canvas. There we go, very nice. I'm going to do this twice. Once with camera number 1 in mind, and then again on camera number 2. So I'm going to switch over to camera number 1, come over, pick up this part, bring it up. So you might say, why am I going to put a coat of gesso on top of this industrial primer? Well, it's very simple. This stuff is total crap. It's total crap. It feels like I'm painting on glass. My paint just skids, slides right over. It's like painting with watercolor. It's a nightmare. So for the last long time, I put a coat of gesso on. Now, why didn't I buy a canvas with it not being primed? Well, simply because I was sharing this roll of painting with my ex, and there, just to be a nice guy. So, let's take this. Let's give the gesso a nice little. There we go. Let's turn all this stuff. I was worried that my gesso might have a coat, harden on the top. Didn't do that, so that's excellent. Let's put this coat of primer on, and then we'll be done for the day. Now, when you have a canvas that's stretched on wood, and that is in its raw form without any kind of gesso on it, you always start from the center and you work your way towards the outside. Like that, when the gesso dries, it shrinks the canvas and stretches it even more. But on a canvas like this, which already has a coat of gesso, I could just start from the top and work my way down. But force of habit, I still work that way from the center, working my way to the outside. So I'm going to do like I always do. I'm going to leave you with my schedule and by saying, ciao mes amis.